Hey there, Gamerinos and Gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm. This is Rady, and today I have another nifty gaming gadget. Kind of. If you're like me, i.e. a weirdo who obsesses way too much over video games and have been collecting video games for long enough and excessively enough that your collection has grown too large to comfortably keep track of, you might be looking for a way to efficiently catalog them. My collection spans 40 or so years and more than 20 platforms, maybe even more depending on what you count separately, and I want to keep track of what games I own for which system, physical or digital, and quickly look them up and be able to group them into categories, depending on what I need, be it platform, series, or any other category. And maybe even add whether or not I got the game new, pre-owned, with the original packaging, and even if the game is currently in my possession or lent to a friend. I have given this a few tries over the years, spreadsheets, databases, different cataloging software, but nothing really accomplished what I needed. Either the grouping options weren't sufficient, the actual cataloging process too unwieldy, or the software was too restrictive. I've been looking around for a better solution for quite a while. Not constantly, of course, but as you can guess, I've been coming back to the project regularly. And I might have found a solution to my problems, or efforts. Playnite is a software meant to collect all your PC games, no matter what launcher or service they use, in one place, to make it easier finding specific games and launching them without switching back and forth between different storefronts. I guess GOG Galaxy provides a similar service, but it's not quite there. Good as a launcher, but not for my needs, as I wasn't able to add certain older games not available on the platform. It does list those games and even lets me mark them as owned, but this doesn't do anything, so yeah, it's pretty useless for me. At least for this project. This is where Playnite shines, since it allows me to add games completely manually, fill out all the fields on my own without the need for a database verification. If I say the game exists and that I own it, it will show up in my library. So yeah, I can just go through the whole of my collection of physical games and create entries for each and every one of them, and fill in all the information I require. For my purposes, I really only need the game's name and the platform I own it on. But for those who want to create an extensive archive, this software has you covered. It comes prepared with a whole bunch of selectable options for genre, system, region and whatnot. But it's pretty easy to just remove things that you don't need or add additional selections. You can also add some icons and backdrops to make it all look more official. Either select images from your hard drive or just use the handy web search just another click away. It might need some fidgeting around to get it look right, but if you just want to have some icons to more easily tell your games apart, this is a very handy tool. There's more refinements you can make, especially for launching your games. Even script your own commands if those games are on PC, but that's not what I'm trying to do here, so I haven't really dabbled in those options. You can then just sort and group your collection by whatever property that is most useful to you, and this software gives you quite a big selection. Something many other databases lack, as I have painfully noticed after having spent a substantial amount of time creating entries for all my games. I've found a grouping method by platform to be most useful to me, since I often need to look up whether or not I own a specific game on a certain system. So I differentiate between all the game consoles I own, but not between the different launchers on PC. Here I just differentiate between physical and digital. And the software itself nevertheless fills in the launcher on its own when I import my PC library. Yes, thankfully you don't need to type in and create entries for all your games. You could. But it's way easier to import your Steam library and maybe Epic, Uplay, EA and whatever else you're using. The software offers quite the large selection, even console marketplaces like the PlayStation Store or the Nintendo eShop. You can even add your emulation directory to launch your ROMs through your Playnite library. Pretty useful, if you need it. But I just need my main PC storefronts. So just select it, install the plugin, restart, and wait for the import to finish. Just be aware that by default, the software only imports games you have installed on your PC. If you want to import the whole library, you have to explicitly enable it. For that, you just click on Configure Integrations, select the library you want to import fully, and check Import Not Installed Games. For that, you need to connect your account. And then the software does its thing. It's pretty useful. There's only one thing, one tiny problem I've encountered with this software. So as a collector, I own a few games for multiple different systems, and I want to catalog my games accordingly. For the most part, the software does this perfectly well. I just select all the platforms in question and the software groups it accordingly. So with the manually added games, this isn't an issue. But with the imported libraries, this isn't so straightforward. Here, I own a game on Steam as well as on GOG. The software creates 2 entries for the game, since it is part of 2 different disconnected libraries. As far as I've seen, there is no way to merge libraries or assign a game to multiple libraries. Again, with the manually added games, it's no problem. There's nothing stopping me from just selecting a Steam game and adding another platform to it. But with games from different libraries, there's no easy solution. I could add the different launchers to my platforms or any other category that fits, but that wouldn't solve the problem since I'd still have the duplicates. Now I could hide those. It's only a mouse click away. I actually did this with some demo versions I have on Steam, since those would just confuse me when I'm looking up certain games. So I added an option for it in the version category, which I then just hide from my list. Now it's easy to find the demos, most of them at least. I just typed demo into the search bar and picked the games I wanted to tag. But this isn't feasible for duplicate games, especially when you don't know which of the hundreds of games are the duplicates. The solution is another plugin. Duplicate Hider can just be installed from inside the software under Add-ons and Generic. And under Extension Settings within the add-on menu, you can customize it and set preferences. For my purpose, I don't need to hide any manually added games, so I only have the expansion apply to the PC platform, which is the default platform for any digital PC libraries. Should you have used different or self-created platform tags, then this might be a bit more complicated. And just to be safe, I also put the Playnite library, which contains all manually added games, on the exclusion list for this extension. You then just select the extension from the drop-down menu and click on Hide All Duplicates, and tada! Freshly cleaned up library. You can still reveal those games through the filter, and by right-clicking on a game, you see if there are any duplicate versions of it. It doesn't work completely without issues though. There will be games hidden by the extension that aren't actual duplicates, like Resident Evil in my case. Thanks games industry for using the same name for different games. But it's not that much of a hassle to just select the games in question and put them on Duplicate Hider's ignore list. I mean, of course it's expected to put in at least a little bit of work in fine-tuning your library. And so far, I'm pretty happy with this software. There are still a lot of games for me to catalog, but this time I feel it's worth the effort. I like the options to group and sort all the entries, and how easy it is to look up certain games, whether or not I own them and in which form. Like, I can see at first glance what games I own for any system, and also see my complete library, without going through a million menus each time. And with just another add-on, I can export my library or parts of it to a neat list, for reference, or on the go, or for whatever reason I can think of. There's even a companion app, not that I need one. There's a lot of options and extensions, so no matter what you try to accomplish, be it archiving, cataloging, or just have all your PC games, no matter how you obtained them, in one neat place, this tool gives you the means, and probably has you covered on whatever niche thing you are also trying to accomplish. So yeah, if you're also looking for a way to catalog or keep track of your impressively massive game collection, you might want to check out Playnite. And with that, I'm off. Have an amazing day. This has been Rady, and I hope to see you again on the next video.